Man, I am telling you, that thing right there, that grip is disgusting. What's up, guys? Today we got the Sanlida Dragon 7 to check out. It's a entry-level bow. Sanlida reached out to me a couple weeks ago and asked me if I wanted to test this thing out. Just to be completely transparent, they sent me this. I did not buy it. As you guys know, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on it. I've not even taken it out of the box. I opened it up and kind of looked at it, you know, but I haven't gotten it out. I haven't shot it. It's not even set up, anything like that. So my goal with this video is gonna be to get this thing set up the best I can, shoot it alongside my Prime RVX 32, get them both set to the same poundage, draw length, all that stuff, get all the accessories that come with this bow put on here. And I'll give you an honest opinion, the best opinion I can. This is a 30-inch axle to axle. That's a 32-inch axle to axle, so obviously they're going to feel a little different. The angle of the string is going to be a little different, but I just want to see what the draw feels like, the draw cycle feels like, how it shoots. It says it's a 300 FPS bow. That sounds pretty honest. A lot of the IBOs are usually off. I'm going to tell you something about Sanlida now, whether you like them or not. You don't know how many companies reach out to me in email and ask me if I want to give something a try, you know, or make a video on it or whatever, and I'll say, sure, yeah, I'd love to try that out, you know. Their next response will be like, okay, well, here's a checklist of like 10 things we want you to either do or say, and then we want you to send the video back to us. And that's not an opinion. That's me just doing a commercial for you. I don't do commercials. I'm telling you, Sanlida's solid. I just know in my head that this is going to be a good bow, you know. Is it going to be as good as the RVX Prime? Obviously, no. Is it going to be as good as the Matthews Lift or any? No. We got to know what we're dealing with here, but I just want to see how does it stack up. So let's get this thing out, get everything put together. We'll start testing this bad boy out. So we got everything laid out, just got it unpacked. I want to go over a couple of things about the accessories before we talk about the bow. If you look at these accessories initially, they actually look like most of the cheap bows that you can buy on Amazon, or just the Chinese bows in general. But I'll tell you something I noticed. I've got about 4 of these cheap stabilizers like this from cheap bows that I bought. And I'm telling you, this one feels the best quality out of all the ones. It doesn't feel like a cheap plastic. I mean, it feels like it would actually do something, like actually silence your bow. You can just feel the quality. The sight. Is this a cheaper sight? Sure. I mean, just think about how do they give you a bow and all the accessories for $200 or less. It's made out of metal. I don't know what kind of metal, but it definitely feels solid. This light here doesn't feel all clanky and cheap. I know some of the cheaper sights I've got before, when you go to turn the light on, there's like, I don't know, it just feels very like it was machined very poorly. This feels very, very good. It just feels a really good compared to some of the other, like the Creative XP accessories we got. I'm always a little iffy about releases, but since this is Sanlida, a company that is known for archery, I think this release, it doesn't feel cheap at all. I think this would be just fine. And then they give you this wrist strap, which is crazy because it smells like real leather. So I don't know. The quiver that they give you actually has a similar design to like what you would see from a trophy ridge quiver. It has basically the twist connect design. See that twist connect design on the back where you pop it off like that to get it off? I like that. And it also feels really, really durable. The bow stand, I'll be honest with you, it feels a little cheap, but I mean, you know, it's a bow stand. It's made to give it a couple more legs to be able to set it down when you get done with it. I don't know how long this is gonna last. I mean, you know, it does feel like a cheaper plastic. The only accessory that I don't really care for is this sight here. And I don't care for these types of sights in general. I don't know why. I just don't really like them. This one does feel a little more expensive than some of the other cheap ones we've gotten, but I still just don't care for them too much. And they give you a bag. You know, it's just a regular schmegular bag. I don't see any pockets or anything, but it's something to keep your bow protected. Slide it under the bed. That's what I do with my bow when I get done with it. And then you give you these arrow grippers, which I've had a couple of these. I've never had to use them. And the other thing is, it comes with a manual. I've bought, you know, $1,500 bows that didn't come with a manual. You know, I like having a manual in my drawer, man. You know, I know you can look them up and download them. I just like having one next to me so I can look it up. Then they give you these arrows. I don't know what kind of, these are Dragon 8 arrows. This must be their older arrows, I believe, because I have their newer ones. It does feel like it's a different carbon than the arrows that I got, but Sanlida arrows, I've shot them and tested them. They are very good bang for your buck arrows. There is no doubt about that. I don't know what spine these are. It may say it somewhere in the kit, but they feel like about 400 or 500. If you're shooting anything over 50 pounds, you probably need new arrows. Here's the bow that it came with. Looks like the limbs are backed out pretty much all the way down. Probably want to tighten them before I try to draw this thing back at all. But I'm gonna tell you something right off the bat that I noticed. And I want to show you what I'm comparing this to real quick. So this is my son's first bow. It's called a Wux Listy. You can find them all over Amazon. We have one that says Creative XP on it. It's just a different manufacturer slapping their name on it before they sell them. These are decent. You know, these surprised me. The other one that we had, I ended up giving it to a family friend. He's gonna hunt with it this season. These go up to 70 pounds. They're like 30-inch bows. Very good. I think these are like $125. But I'm gonna tell you, holding these side by side, you can just feel it in your hand. This is worth the extra $75. There's no doubt about it. You know, just simple things like a string stop. You know, this one don't have anything like that. It just looks like it's machined better. And the grip itself feels like stupid balance, man. Man, I am telling you, that thing right there, that grip is disgusting. One thing I don't really care for is that peep, but I mean, you know, we'll probably end up having to change that anyway. Between these two, just so you know, this is what I'm comparing it to, just so you know I have at least an idea. These accessories now, this Octane sight and some of these accessories that are on here came off my Diamond Edge 320. These are not the accessories that came with this bow, because the accessories that come with this bow are pretty awful. And those other accessories, I think I don't know what we did with them. Maybe we threw them away. I don't know. They were rough. The accessories that come with the Sanlida Dragon X7 that I was just showing you, they're decent. They're not bad at all. I mean, I'm telling you, we're going to put them on there. I mean, obviously we got to get it all set up, but I can just tell you, you can feel when something's cheap and when something's not. These feel pretty decent. You know what I mean? For what you're paying, it's pretty nuts how they do that. Anyway, let's start getting the accessories put on this thing. Then we'll start slinging some arrows. Hopefully it don't rain on us. 59.5. All right, so we're going to shoot it a couple times, make sure everything's good. We're gonna put the chronograph on here and see what kind of speeds we're getting out of this bad boy. Here we go, first shot. Kind of loud. It does have some hand shock. Not too bad. I'm at about 15 yards. I'll shoot it again. May have to raise the sight up a little bit. I just wanted to see what it felt like. All right, shot 2. Okay, one more. Now there's no doubt in my mind I could use this bow. There's just no doubt in my mind. I could just feel it already. Sanlida has a flagship bow that I'd like to compare the flagship bow to my Prime, honestly. Just out of curiosity. I like the Sanlida company, man. I just feel like they're really honest. I like when people are honest like that. They don't try to persuade me to say what they want me to say on their reviews. All right, here we go. Hey, that's a pretty good group. Okay, I think that's good enough. So I think what we should do now is pull out the chrono. I'd like to put the chronograph on this thing, see what kind of FPS we're getting with those arrows, pull out my Prime, and just compare the two. And I can tell it seems like these are a little bit slower. Now remember, it's right at 59 pounds. Got our arrow chronograph on here. We have it set for FPS. Dude, that thing right there, man, is so frustrating. I'm just gonna take this off. I hate this tubing stuff. We're just gonna shoot it up close, I guess, because I'm not gonna go and set all this stuff up perfect and then go take it down and set it up for my son, because I'm gonna pay to have this thing set up. Let's see what it shoots off the chronograph. .232, so 230 FPS at 59. So just so you know, 230 FPS is what we're shooting right now. Okay, here we are. This is my baby. So we're gonna see what the draw weight is first. I think it's 60. It may be like 62 or something, I don't know. I just wanna make sure. This is a 60 to 70 pound bow. That one goes from 0 to 70. So when you talk about a bow that's it only has 10 pound increments, this bow is made for 60 to 70 pounds. You know what I mean? This is a 70 pound bow that can drop down to 60. It's not the same kind of bow, you know what I mean? But the reason I want to shoot these back to back to get speeds and get feel and all that stuff, because to me, this is perfect. This is the best shooting bow I've ever shot. So I can compare it to this and give an accurate scale of how I think the bow stacks up to something that's like the best of the best in my opinion. So if that gets a 6 out of 10, that's pretty good, right? Because that's only a $150 bow. So here we go. Let's see what the poundage is. Oh, it's 62.5. And there's actually kind of a hump in here that I just never, from shooting that, there is no hump at all. Maybe they got the draw cycle set up like that. Maybe that's why it's slower. I'm pretty sure this thing's gonna shoot like 260, 270. But there is a little hump in the front of this that I've never really noticed before. Here we go. .254. So this is shooting 254 at 62 pounds. I got it right at 28-inch draw. It's not the fastest bow. That's why it's so comfortable to draw back. You know what I mean? So let's shoot them back to back for hand shot. This thing, in my opinion, is disgusting when it comes to that. So this will be a good test. That one I noticed it felt like it had hand shot, but let's shoot them side by side. All right, so we all know the Prime RVX is better. There's no question about that. So in this scenario here, we're just gonna say the Prime RVX is a 10 because it's a $1,700 bow, and this is my favorite bow out of all the bows I shot. Matthews, I mean, everything. This is what I like. So we're gonna say it's a 10 out of 10 for me. So here we go, grip and hand shock. I don't feel a lot of hand shock in that bow. So we're just gonna say 10 out of 10, remember? We can all agree to disagree. You know, I know this isn't the best bow in the world. I'm just saying, compared to this budget bow by Sanlida, give me a break, come on. Dragon 7. Grip, I give it an 8 out of 10. I love this grip. It's got this squared off grip, and it almost feels like what that would feel like if that didn't have that rubber coating on the outside. I think the grip on this thing is disgusting. Very good job on the grip, Sanlida. That was the first thing I noticed when I pulled it out of the box. Amazing. Hand shock, we'll give it a 4. It has quite a bit of hand shock. I've always thought hand shock is kind of like, who cares? But I could definitely feel a lot more vibration in my hands when I shoot this as opposed to my Prime RVX 32. But it doesn't really bother me, but we'll just say, we'll give it a 4 out of 10 because it's definitely noticeable. All right, so next we're gonna test the draw cycle and back wall. We'll shoot them back to back. I know this is a 10. This is what this bow is built for, baby. Here we go. Just disgusting, right? So disgusting. There's a little hump in that, but if I take that module off, that goes away. I like it that way. I think it puts me at 80% instead of 90% let off. Maybe it's 85, I forget, I'd have to look. Okay, there's no hump in this. Back wall, you got a little bit of movement, about an inch, something like that. The more I shoot this thing, the better it feels. I will say that. The more I shoot it, like the hand shock and stuff, the better it feels. I don't know if the bow's like breaking in as I shoot it. I don't know, but I'd say it's a little spongy in the back wall. Not my favorite as far as, you know, I could shoot it all day long, but we'll say as far as back wall, we'll give it a 7 out of 10. As far as draw cycle, I would say draw cycle is like 8.5 out of 10. I mean, it's butter draw cycle, man. I mean, there's like no hump, no nothing. I mean, I'm assuming that's what this bow is made for. Lower the FPS, better the draw cycle is gonna feel. You know, we just shot it at 15 yards a minute ago. I was able to group them. I'm not installing a peep on that thing When I install it, it's gonna be installed for my son. I'm done messing with that tube and peep sight. I don't like those things. They're very frustrating to deal with. So when you get that bow, that's the first thing I would replace is that tube and peep sight. I don't like those things. I think that tells me everything I need to know, man. So as far as this, you know, a lot of people, at least when I first started shooting bows, and I would look at budget bows, I would wonder, how does this bow compare to a Matthews? How does this Diamond 320 compare to a $1,400 Matthews lift? And I would say overall about a 6 out of 10. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that a flagship bow is not, so if this is $150, it's not 16, 18 times better. You know, it is better, but there is diminishing returns, and that's with everything you do. Guitars, bows, all that stuff. It's definitely better. A flagship bow is gonna be way better, but how does this thing stack up? In a nutshell, I would say this is a perfect first-year archer, second-year archer type of bow, getting you in the game. Maybe a kid up to 15 years old, or beyond 15 years old, somebody that just started shooting archery. This is just perfect. Get it out of the box. Do not even try to set it up yourself. Take it straight down to your bow shop, hand it all to them, say, this is what I got. They will tell you, you don't want this peep sight, you don't want this, you don't want that. They should help you figure out what you need to put on there and what you don't. They'll make sure your cams are in time. You know, they'll make sure your draw length, all the stuff you need, they will do it for you. That's what I'm about to do. I'm no bow tech, you know what I mean? I can tell you how this thing shoots, but who knows, if I took it down and had somebody check the cam timing, it could maybe even be better, you know? But for just straight out of the box, I could definitely get this thing set up. I got a tool in there where I could take that peep out and change it and get this thing set up and take it to the woods in a week. I know without a doubt. It's good enough for that. As far as the accessories go, the one thing that blew my mind was this sight. This sight is all metal, painted very well. The machining on all this stuff is absolutely amazing. The sight they give you, it's not just some cheap, crappy plastic sight. The quiver, that's another thing, usually just crap, you know, when people give you quivers, you know, that come with bow kits. Amazing. Sanlida did a very good job as far as the accessories go. The bow puller, you know, stuff like that, release, all that stuff. Yeah, that stuff probably works, you know, and it works fine. It's just, you're gonna wanna get your own release. It's good to start off with, maybe for a few months, but eventually you're gonna wanna go down, see what kind of releases you like, that kind of stuff. But as far as this sight, I don't think you need to change it. This quiver, great. The arrow rest, I would say that's one of the first things I would change. But other than that, really good finish on this bow. I'm gonna take this thing down to my archery shop tomorrow, get this set up. This is gonna be my son's bow, so just so you know, I am keeping this for my son, so I do like it. And this is what he's gonna shoot the next few years. It's perfect for that, perfect, like I said, for a beginner archer. I guarantee you, if this peep wouldn't have messed up on me, I would have been slinging these out to 40 with baseball-sized groups. Guarantee it. There's no doubt in my mind. I could just tell by when I was shooting it at 15, 17 yards. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. If you tried this bow, I saw some negative reviews on it on Amazon, like people acting like it's a, you know, a flagship model. It's crazy, bro. It's under 150 bucks. These people are acting like you're supposed to be getting some Matthews lift, you know, when you pay $140. Like, be reasonable, guys. This is perfect for what you're paying for. You get way more than what you pay for. Let me know what you guys think. If this helped you make your decision on purchasing or not purchasing this item, let me know. As always, God bless. Until next time, appreciate it. Peace.